right? It's NPK Technology. Today we're going to be talking about heat stress and how to potentially remove some of that heat from your room. But first of all, we're going to take the pen off Thomas because...
Oh, don't be like that, boys. You're having a go at me already. I haven't even introduced myself yet, and you're already telling me to stop clicking the pen.
Foxy's boxes and T's pens.
Okie dokie. Well, I've been told off because the editor had to spend about 4 or 5 hours editing this sound. Well, you can have fun editing that. Anyway, yeah, as Stephen said, today we're going to talk about heat stress with plants, which is very, very prominent at this time of year. Where do you want to start?
I think we should start with helping people have cooler environments, but without spending any money at all.
Okay, well, I've got some quick ones. First of all, we've got Bermuda shorts for plants. Would that cool them down?
Possibly.
Nice set of sunglasses.
Not me, no.
Give them a lolly ice each.
No, don't think so.
Maybe some sun cream to stop them burning.
Some sun cream.
Good idea.
I reckon we use that. And there's probably some of our customers do use
Perhaps we can actually pay attention to what the plant really wants.
So you're actually talking about looking at your plants and maybe doing some investigative work and finding out what the plant actually needs.
Sounds like a plan to me.
That's radical.
So what do you think the main criteria is for this then, Stephen?
First things first, you need to make sure that your lights are going to be coming on when it's coldest outside, which is when it's dark.
Okay, so you wouldn't advise, okay, let's put our lights on in the middle of the day.
No, it's 28 degrees today.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's put 3 600 watt lamps off that give off 3-4 degrees each. It's a very smart idea, isn't it? No, we should be thinking about putting our lights on about 9 o'clock in the afternoon.
So basically, we're not going to do anything stupid with our plants. We really need to pay attention to the plant environment. That was the point I was getting to. You know, these plants, they can't survive in a heat stressed environment. Certain elements are going to kill the plant. Either too much heat is going to stop stomata with the plant.
Yeah.
It could also promote pest and disease.
Yeah.
Or fungal diseases as well, bacterial diseases and infections.
Definitely if the humidity is too high.
Yeah, so, you know, looking at heat stress at this time of year, I think is essential.
It's paramount.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first and the cheapest option, get your lights on when it's dark outside. When it's cool outside, 18 degrees in the night, that's when you should be putting your lamps on.
Cool.
And then when it's hottest outside, that's when you should be off. That's step number 1.
So that's just a simple thing that you can do. You don't need to go and buy anything additional.
Not
you just
at all.
need to change the pins on your timer.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's the first one. There's a good top tip. So if any of you guys out there have got your lights on in the peak of the day when it's really hot, change it. Next.
Additional CO2.
Additional CO2. Now, there's CO2. Used to be very complicated, Stephen. It used to entail big, massive CO2 bottles that needed to be recharged at the grocery store, and then it entailed the CO2 emitter and valve and all the timers and stuff like that.
Oh, and humans also are telling the plant when they think they should be having the CO2. So us as humans say to the plants, here you go, here's the CO2 when I decide that you have it.
Yeah.
That's not what nature's about.
So basically like choking the plant.
Possibly, yeah. I know a lot of people do like to use these canisters of CO2, but I'm in this camp that they're unnatural, they cost a lot of money, they can break, and they're just a nightmare to get in and out of you.
To be honest, Stephen, as we've seen, the new product, CO2 Exhale bag, been out for about 12 months, 18 months, something. Yeah, it's a little bag with some fungus inside, and basically what it does, if it respires, and as it does this, is it a natural process, is it, Steve?
Completely natural, yeah.
So as it respires, correct me if I'm wrong, it's releasing natural CO2.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's in a bag, it's portable, doesn't need connecting into anything.
Nope.
No wires, no plugs, no emitters, no complication. But what's the lifespan on this bag for?
Well, on the Exhale bags, which I may be wrong, but they've been in our shop the longest, they say that it should be lasting about 6 months. However, in the tests that we've done in shop, the bags carry on expanding through to 9 months to 12 months time. So it probably depends on the temperature, the humidity, how often you have the lights on. They guarantee 6 months, but we've often seen up to 12 months use out of. Okay.
So there we've got the CO2 Exhale bag. What size space do you think one bag would do?
I'd maximum 1.2 by 1.2. If you wanted to test one out, I'd put it in a 1.5 by 1.5 metre square. But if you start getting above the 1.5, in the 2.4 by 1.2, you'd be looking at 2.
Yeah.
And in a 2.4 by 2.4, ideally 3, maybe even 4.
To be honest, I've seen it with 4, in one in each corner, in a 2.4 by 2.4, which is a large space.
Yeah.
In peak conditions with only a small extraction, and I'm telling you now, Stephen, the plants were absolutely amazing, lovely lush green. So to be honest, it seems like a nice easy quick fix. These things are only what, £35?
£30 at the moment for the
have
summer.
we got an offer on, have we?
Yeah.
£30 for the summer, and they're lasting between 6 and 12 months.
The reason that we've told you about CO2 bags, we joked before about putting sun cream onto the plants, but that's the way I describe CO2. It's like sun cream for the plants. It's not going to lower temperatures, but what CO2, additional CO2 does is it provides the carbon dioxide for when the plant actually needs it. So when the plant goes, yo, need some CO2 here, boys, it opens its stomata. We've got plenty of CO2 in there because we've put an exhale bag in there. So the stomata are open, they take in the CO2 that they require, and then they can close up pretty quickly because they've got the required amount of CO2. Now, if we don't have additional CO2, the stomata goes, right, I'm ready for my CO2. The stomata opens and it's like, ooh, I'm going to have to wait a while, keep myself open for a while here. And while the stomata's open, lots of transpiration is occurring. The plant's losing a lot of water through its stomata.
Right.
And this is why, when you're lacking CO2 in hot temperatures, the plant's going to lose a lot of water, and that's why we see wilting. And that's why I call it sunblock for plants, because it's basically allowing the plant to keep a lot more moisture, and it's going to allow it to operate at these higher temperatures, which is essential for summer.
Good stuff. Excellent. So just to recap, they're CO2 bags, £30 on special offer, and they last between 6 and 12 months, and they're a quick fix for these terrible temperatures at the moment.
Yeah.
What else have we got on the list, Stephen?
Certain products on the market, like hormones, cactus hormones, I think we've got, and you love
Yeah.
this product.
Yeah, I do, because, you know, me and Stephen, we're both outdoor fanatics. We both love Mother Nature, and, you know, these are a good product that shows what Mother Nature can do. You know, you've all seen the Sahara Desert. What are the temperatures in the night in the desert, Stephen?
Minus 20 in the night.
What's the temperatures in the day?
40 to 50 degrees Celsius.
So that's nearly an 80-degree change from day and night.
Yeah.
Funny how a cactus can survive that, though, isn't it?
It is.
Which leads us on to some products that we sell in the store. We've come across a company called Evaponic, really scientific company. They've got 3 products. What are they?
Well, the 3 products that they say are hormones is the liquid ice, liquid heat, and the water saver. The one we're interested in the summer is the liquid ice.
Yeah.
Where I describe to our customers, it's like it actually gets recommended saying that the plant will thrive at 30 degrees, but in our tests in shop, we didn't find that it thrived, but we did find that it didn't kill the plant.
Yeah. So this is extreme heat temperatures.
Extreme heat temperatures.
So when you place this liquid into your tank, it's like it's like a natural cool. It's like a coolant for the plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The plant's not going to die. It's not going to thrive. It's if you're away for 2 days or you're not really taking much care of your plant, you need to add this in. I think everybody needs to add this Evaponic liquid ice in because it's a safety net. If one day the temperatures are hitting 32 degrees outside, then the plants can just go, okay, we're a bit hot today, but don't stress.
You know, here's a scenario then, Stephen. You're off to holiday. You're off on holiday with the missus for 7 days. You're going somewhere nice, exotic, but it's also nice and exotic in the country where you're growing. So you're going to be a bit worried because you've looked on the weather and you see for the next 7 days it's going to be about 28, 30 degrees. So before you go, you buy a bottle of liquid ice for around £20 for the litre, and you place some of this, not all of it, some of it in your water tank. So then you know when you go away for your 7 days holiday, your plants are going to be safe. You've put a safety net. So if then temperatures really soar, we have put this hormone already inside the plant, so you know when you arrive home, your plants are not dead.
Yeah, exactly. We may as well mention the other 2 products. Although the liquid ice is very important for the current climate that we're in, the current heat wave we're experiencing, they also do liquid heat. So when you come to the winter, if you haven't bought a heater or your heater may break,
or you're going on holiday again,
you're going to add in this liquid heat, and if temperatures drop to 5 degrees, now we've done this test and we really challenged the product because it was the first time we've had the product.
What temperature did we take it down to, man?
4 degrees.
4 degrees.
4 degrees in shop at night, and the plant, I just didn't give it any sort of love and care or attention.
We absolutely terrorised this
plant.
Plant.
Just to terrorise the product. product because it was new to our shop. So it was a chili plant, which they hate cold conditions, and we got the temperatures down to 4 degrees when it was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Now the plant didn't thrive. It went into sort of a comatose state. It was just didn't grow, but most importantly didn't die.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing you need to take away from this, guys, is it didn't thrive, or it wasn't super huge when we returned to it. However, it was alive. Now, for that plant to be alive in that condition is very, very lucky, to say the least. But with the liquid heat, that's what kept it alive. Without that, the plant would have withered and died.
Yeah, I know this isn't about reducing your temperatures, but the third product that they do, that we promote in the shop, is water saver. Probably pretty good in the summer as well, as most of you will probably be going on holiday or have just returned from your holidays.
I think this is a very good product, Stephen.
It's probably one of our favourites as well, because it's a problem that a lot of growers can possibly experience. Let's use an example, an AutoPot system. You don't need to plug it in, it doesn't require any electricity, it operates on gravity. Now, if one of these plugs becomes blocked while you're on holiday, plant's not going to get any water or nutrients for possibly 5-6 days or the whole time while you're away. However, if you use water saver, basically, I like to put it into metaphorically speaking, this water saver says to the plants, hey, we're not getting any water here, guys, but don't stress, chill out. Our grower's going to come back and he's going to look after us when we get back. Just keep as much water as you can, and let's bide our time. Let's wait this drought out.
Okay, so I've got a plant. I put water saver in it. How long would it take for this plant to die if I didn't water it at all?
Well, the most that we've done is a week. We've not given a plant any water for a week, and like everything else with the liquid ice and the liquid heat, it didn't thrive, but most importantly, it didn't die.
So there you go. Especially in these hot climates and conditions that we're in, if you had to take a trip somewhere, or perhaps you couldn't get to your crop as often as you'd like to, you can put a safety net in, put some water saver into your tank each time, and you know that the plant is going to be safe. Yeah. It's security for a simple little bit of time and effort, and a product that doesn't cost a lot of money at all.
Yeah, spot on. So they were Evaponic products. Evaponics do more products, but that's for another podcast, and potentially the guys at Evaponics want to come down and tell you about that themselves.
Yeah, that would be good.
So we'll give a shout out to Evaponics. Get your asses down here. Let's do a podcast on your products, because we're starting to really like them.
Yeah.
So next on the list, number 4, ventilation.
Oh, where do we start, Stephen? Ventilation. I've got 2600 watt light. Have you got a 4-inch fan for me, mate?
No.
Why not? I want a 4-inch fan.
Well, at NPK, we're not going to give you what you think you want.
Oh no, but the fella in the shop up the road said to me he'd sell me a 4-inch fan for £50.
Yeah, we do. We hear this quite a lot, don't we? People coming in saying, I've got this many lights and this size grow room. I'd like a 5-inch fan, please. And I have to sort of rein myself in a little bit, because then I love sort of to tell them, but why do you want that fan? Why? We're in summer. You need to compensate even more so. You need to upgrade your fan, upgrade your filter, and then in the winter, just dim it down. Not the other way around. Don't go and buy a 6-inch fan.
Okay, so here's another one. You know what I'm like, Stephen. I love to play devil's advocate. So we've got a 600 watt light.
Yeah.
6-inch fan, RVK?
No, maybe as an intake.
But not as an outtake?
Definitely not.
No?
No.
Why not?
Well, you're looking with a 6-inch fan. Average, you're looking to move around 600 metres cubed an hour.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and that's taken into account. That's just the fan where it moves when it's not attached to a filter. That's not attached to any 90-degree bends in ducting. It's when it's not having any pressure against it. So 6-inch fan moves 600 metres cubed an hour. Now with how many lights was it?
4 lights in a 2-metre square tent.
Okay, let's just take the lights for example. Each 600 watt light, we say you need to remove about 300 metres cubed of air an hour for each 600 watt light.
Yeah, but you're not listening here, mate. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I've told you. I done this last year.
Last year? When about were you last growing?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. It was like September or something. I don't know, mate. It was around then.
Oh, September?
Yeah.
You mean when temperatures in England were 12 degrees?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. I just know that everything was fine then, and now it's not.
Well, everything may have been fine when you last did it, but you've got to take into account these summer temperatures. We're in a completely different environment. You have to take into account the fact that if it's 30 degrees outside, how on earth are you supposed to get your room down to 24 degrees, or an ideal temperature? So we need to take into account what's happening outside. If you're not growing outside, or maybe you're starting off some plants to then potentially put outside, it's going to be hot inside. You need to really, like we said at the beginning, start looking at your plant. Your plant will tell you what it wants to do. You don't tell your plant what you think it needs to do. Yeah.
So basically, as well, what you guys need to know is you need to understand fan speed and power and meters cubed an hour and the size of your room and how many lamps. They are the key attributes to deciding what size fan and what speed fan you will need. It does not go by what size diameter the flanges, i.e. a 6-inch fan, an 8-inch fan or a 10-inch fan. There's not just, unfortunately, there's not just one 6-inch fan, one 8-inch fan and one 10-inch or 12-inch. They all have different speeds. They all have different ratings of decibel. So if you don't want Ethel next door to hear you growing your chilies, you know, you want to get one with a low decibel rating. However, you'll need one with a high power rating. Yeah. So here at NPK, we strive and thrive upon giving you guys the right information. So this week, what we've decided to do is put a full fan equation chart on our website. So basically, you can look at the size of your room and you can equate what fan you would need. Because the amount of time that we've got people coming in saying, okay, got 6 lights and I need a 6-inch fan. In some times of the year, in some environments, you can get away with that stuff, but it's not good for the plant's climate. You really need to pay attention to the plant and give it exactly what it needs, not what you think it'll survive in.
Exactly. We can't go into as much detail as we'd like on the podcast because we really like to try and keep it as short as possible, just so you don't zone out and drift off. But if you want more information, Hydromag have done a really great magazine this month. You can check it out on www.hydromag.co.uk or pop into store. We've got plenty of copies for you, and they go through every fan and filter and tell you about pressure loss, and if you're into all the science, this is paid for. Really great magazine this week, guys, and a good shout out to Hydromag. Well done. I really enjoyed that reading.
Yeah, good team, Hydromag.
Number 5, what we need to do is, if everything else, we've put every other action into place, it's still not quite low enough. What are we doing? Are we dragging in air from the same room of 28 degrees?
How bad is that, Steve? If we were doing that, we'd be reusing stale air.
Exactly.
Why don't we put a carrier bag over our own heads and see how long we stay alive for?
That's a good example.
Shall we do a test this week? Me and you in the studio. We'll put a carrier bag over our heads and see how long we podcast for.
Okay, let's do that. If there's any children listening, do not do that.
Do not do that, because you will die. We are not going to do that whatsoever, and we cannot survive with a bag over our head. So don't do it to the plants.
Okay, you need to be getting... Thanks for that, Rick. He's just presented us with 2 plastic bags.
I think he's trying to say something to his ear anyway.
Alright, you'll be ITing by yourself next week, you git. Okay, intakes. Make sure your intake's coming from a cooler place. Ideally, try and get it coming from outside, because if you follow rule number 1, where your lights are coming on when it's cold outside, then you can be drawing in cool air from outside. Make sure you're doing that.
Make sure this air isn't any cooler than around 15 degrees, and it's not any warmer than 21 degrees.
Yeah, it's a nice medium, isn't it?
That'd be perfect.
And lastly, we'll talk about humidity. You probably already know this, but vegging, when you're growing through vegetative growth, you want a high humidity. Some people don't believe that humidity is important for plants.
Some people don't even know what humidity is.
But you need it. It's essential during the vegetative growth. Really, you want 70% plus during veg.
Here's a top tip for you. Right, okay. You started growing a plant, and it's taken nearly 5 weeks to actually move. That's because your humidity is too low. It should be between 70 and 90%. Plants in the growth cycle really love a nice, stuffy, humid environment. However, as soon as you reach the flower cycle, you need to remove all humidity because this will cause mold and botrytis and various other problems.
And when we say all humidity, removing as much humidity as you can. You never will remove every single bit of humidity, that's impossible. But when we say remove humidity, we mean placing a few fans into the corner, a few clip fans, get your intake circulating and get it down to about 40-50% humidity.
Yeah, 40% would be perfect.
Yeah, you can purchase hygrometers along with thermometers in shop. They cost about £10.
Hi, let me just layman term that. Hygrometer, basically it's a little screen and it's got your temperature on it and it's got another number under it saying RH, that's room humidity. It's telling you exactly how much moisture is in the room.
Good, thank you for that. There's one more tip that we didn't include on our Facebook post. A lot of people decide not to do anything indoors during the summer because either they just want to have a break, which is fair enough, or they grow outside, which is great. Take advantage of that heat outside. But we say, carry on learning. You've got 3 months where people just stop.
You know what I think is, Stephen? I've got my own theory on this. Is basically that people stop growing in the summer because they can't.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
Yeah.
They can't get a plant to survive through the summer because they're so hell-bent on putting 1,000,001 lights in there. You know, if these guys are growing with 400-600 watt lights and they're really struggling and it's not working for them, why don't we just do the obvious thing?
Turn a light on.
Or turn 2 off.
Yeah.
Or turn 1 on.
Yeah.
Or turn 1 off. Or put another extraction in.
That's sacrilege. You can't turn a light off.
Oh, I know, because, you know, the plant might actually live then, mightn't it, if you've done that?
No. What you're spot on. Take off if you're growing with 4 lights, turn 1 off, see what the temperature's saying. If not, turn 2 lights off, see what the temperature's saying. Another method is get a dimmable digital ballast, for God's sake. Let's catch up with these Americans who laugh at us because we're using magnetic ballasts. Let's get a digital ballast.
What is a digital ballast and why would we want them to get one?
Well,
what's the benefits? What is the benefit from, you know, average Joe coming into our shop, getting his hard-earned cash out again and spending how much, Stephen, on a
£110 on a digital light kit.
Yeah, and is that complete?
That's complete with digital ballast.
Why though? Why? They've got a light at home. Why do they want to spend more money? These grow shops just want to take money. Come on, tell us why.
Well, you're probably right. Grow shops do want to take money. But as our listeners know, we're different to NPK. We care about what you're doing and we want to help you. We want to help you grow, literally. So what we want to do is, I've completely lost train of my thoughts.
You're going to tell them what the benefit of having a digital dimmable ballast
That's the one. Firstly, if you've ever tried to take a photograph or a video of your plant and you're using magnetic ballasts, which most of you probably are, you'll notice banding across your screen.
They're the black lines that go down the screen.
That's the one. And what this is, it's the magnetic interference with your camera. Basically, the magnetic ballasts will switch off that light for a microsecond probably a microsecond every second, let's say.
So the human eye, unfortunately, can't see that because it's that quick. However, that's how the camera picks up on this by the black lines.
Now, over 3 months, 4 months, whatever plant you're growing, however long it takes to grow, imagine what this equates to. Now, over a standard plant, a lot of archery plants take about 12 weeks, 14 weeks to grow. This equates to, what is it 2 or 3 days of light lost?
Yeah, 2 or 3 days of the light being completely off.
Now, imagine what you could do with an extra 3 days.
But the key thing is with the digital dimmable ballast is it has 3 settings. Some of them have 6, but the standard is 250 watt, 400 watt and 600 watt. So the point of this whole talk is if you're having heat stress problems and you've got a ballast on 600 watt, you could switch it down and the room would become a lot less warmer. If it was still struggling, you could switch it down again to 250 watts. So you don't need to pack up your kit and not grow. Exactly. You just need to pay attention to what's going on around you.
I think it's a crying shame when people pack up for 3 months over the summer because there's so much that we're all learning all the time. Everyone that packs up over the summer, you're 3 months behind us because we're cracking on. We're turning lights off. We're dimming down in our digital ballasts. And if the worst comes to worst, we're using CFLs. We're using the compact fluorescent lights in the grow stage and the flower stage.
But what about BudMaster 2?
BudMaster 2?
Oh, that's a whole new category. We'll have to save that one, Stephen.
BudMaster 2.
Yeah, BudMaster. And we'll just give you a little snippet. It's an LED light.
Yeah, light emitting diodes, but it emits low heat. We're testing out these BudMaster 2s under the Carolina Reaper chili plant, hottest chili plant in the world.
Yeah.
Check out the pictures on Facebook.
What feed have we got it on? Metrop?
Metrop feed with Hydrotops bacteria, Bactivata, top heavy crop and fully formed flowers. And we've also used Plant Magic's foliar feed evolution. It's looking really good. But even at NPK headquarters, we've noticed the effects of heat. Some of the leaves slightly curled up. We're just testing. We're seeing what works well and what doesn't work. So come into store, check out the plants, see what the LEDs are saying. And in the next few weeks, we're going to get the owners of Budmaster 2 to come and give you all the technical details of it.
I look forward to that one. I'm really looking forward to that, because it's something I think that is the future for hydroponics in the growing industry.
Definitely. LEDs have been great for vegging, but they've struggled on the flowering. Now, Budmaster 2, it looks like they've got this one sorted.
But don't just take Budmaster 2's advice. We're testing this product in our tent right now, so we will give you the honest opinion. Does it work? Yay or nay? We'll find out soon enough.
Well, you've been listening to NPK's podcast. I've been Stephen.
And I've been Thomas.
See you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
At NPK Technology in Liverpool, we pride ourselves on providing you with the products you need at the right price. Once more, if the products you want aren't in stock, we'll order them in for you. And if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, we'll happily point you in the right direction. NPK Technology Liverpool, going out of our way to help you grow. Visit www.mpktechnology.co.uk.
Life is good.